What's going on, guys? Oh my Godzilla here, back on our PodZilla show, our little Godzilla podcast. Super excited for this episode. We got Steve from the Geek Chest here. Super glad you could make it, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, glad I could be here.
Yeah, super stoked to have you on here. So let's just jump kind of right in with the thing I like to start kind of these off with. I mean, how'd you get really into specifically Godzilla, I guess, first?
Godzilla for me started super early because my earliest recollection is not even watching Godzilla, but it's oddly enough, for I think it was like my 4th birthday, is my mom got me the giant 12-inch Imperial Godzilla because I used to be super into dinosaurs when I was younger, and got me that thing. I was like, this thing's amazing. Her realizing that I like the thing so much, she's like, well, there's movies. So I went and picked up a few of them, and then it just kind of snowballed from there.
Okay.
So I've been watching them ever since I was super little.
Yeah. Do you happen to remember what your first one was that you saw?
That's a tough one because I remember which VHSs we had, but I don't remember which ones I started with because we had. I think it was King Kong versus Godzilla is probably my first one.
Okay.
We also had Gigan and Raids Again. I remember having super early.
Okay, those are all pretty good ones to start with.
Yeah, it was back when you had hunt them down at the VHS store and hope that they had certain ones.
Yeah. Little easier to find them now, I guess. But so I can't really exactly remember what my first movie. I saw the '98 movie first, but in terms of the Japanese ones, I can't remember because as soon as I kind of realized I was into the Godzilla stuff, I just kind of went on a binge, watching them where I could find them, or, just finding them online or at stores. But I can't exactly remember what my first Japanese one I watched was. I know the 54, the original, was one of the first ones, and then I think it was actually followed closely by Final Wars. I just I tracked that down on I think it was on that Crackle streaming service. I think that still exists.
Yeah, it's still around. So I know 54 was one of my later ones that I seen.
Yeah.
Especially growing up, but the original was super hard to come across. So I seen almost every other Showa movie before that because they used to even play on a Sci-Fi Channel. They'd have the Godzilla marathon during the summers.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So I remember having you had to record the only way to get Godzilla versus Ghidorah was you watched it, recorded it because you couldn't actually buy it.
Just recorded it onto your VHS and then.
Yep.
Okay, that's fun. Yeah, I didn't have to do too much of. I didn't really even try and hunt for them on TV. I was mostly just trying to, surf the web. And then when Netflix had the old school service that they did with where they'd send you a DVD, I think I was able to get a couple through our Netflix subscription. But,
yeah,
but it was
I don't love it when I get talking about it. It's almost sort of back in my day.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but I guess it probably had to have been. I'm not sure. I don't even know if Netflix still offers that service, but I know originally they started and that was really all they offered.
Yeah, it was early 2000s, I want to say.
Yeah, so I sent away for a few of them.
When I was living with my buddy, you could still get that because there was even the gaming service. They would send you stuff too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I remember that was a thing during that time too.
Yeah, I don't think I ever did the games, but
yeah, it was. I think the house had one, so that's how we got some of the stuff.
Oh, okay.
Kind of sharing it around.
Yeah, it'd be really cool if some distribution company came through and picked up the rights to stream all the Godzilla movies and put everything on one platform. That would be really nice.
Oh, yeah, no, that'd be super great. Just
one
convenient places to show up and just be I'm just gonna binge it today.
Exactly, yeah. Because even today, some of them can be hard to find. I think YouTube has most of them you can rent. And you probably can get most of them on iTunes. Just rent them. In terms of
I know even
watching.
Or some of the stuff I use for editing videos, Archive, you can find some of the older stuff on too.
Really?
It's archive.com. It's general use stuff, but for reasons there's Godzilla on there.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I didn't know any.
Yeah, it's a lot of the old ones.
So it's just stuff that falls under fair use.
I don't think it's fair use, but it's on.
It's on. Okay. Well, that's interesting. That's cool to know. I might have to check that out just for fun.
I remember that's how I found. That's where I got my footage for the a 62 me video. So I got the video through there and then heavily edited it after that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to definitely check that out. That'd be interesting to look into.
Mhm.
So when did you kind of start realizing you wanted to collect anything really, but I guess your anything story and then your Godzilla story kind of, were you always kind of a collector type?
Yeah, for the most part, like I've always been in the action figures. It was definitely pretty random. A lot of the time, it was pretty much like whatever was like I enjoyed on TV is generally what I collected at the time.
Right.
Outside of like, and especially movies too. I would say collected a lot of that stuff till about high school, and then it kind of dived off pretty heavily after that. And then slowly started picking up. I want to say probably like 2012ish when me and my wife finally got a house, so we started grabbing some stuff then, and then it kind of snowballed from there because that's essentially when we started Super not too long after that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
and a lot of that was more. I started with the video game stuff because I used to be like heavily into collecting Godzilla. It was like Godzilla, Jurassic Park, Star Wars was another big one, and then some random stuff here and there.
Okay.
But when I moved out, my parents, I thought my collection disappeared on me. And I thought somebody stole it, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Found out she like tossed it in the back of like one of the used vans, like out in the yard.
Oh no.
So once I found that, I was like, sweet, I got that, and then it kind of gave me the itch to start collecting more Godzilla stuff,
Okay.
which was a bad thing because then that's what snowballed into like, oh, I started hunting vinyls down, and then it was like, oh, Monster Arts is a thing. This seems pretty
Hmm.
sweet.
Yeah, definitely
So
familiar with that one.
yeah, and then
That's
jumped
how
into
that
that
works.
one hard because my first Monster Arts was Violente.
The first issue of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's a
grabbed
good
her,
one.
and then I was like, well, we need the Godzilla, so I guess I'll get the Godzilla going with him. And then when they both came in, I was like, okay, what else is there?
Right, yeah. I have like a whole I think somebody put together a list of all the SH Monster Arts that they did with like release dates and pictures and everything. So I just like I took that image that they had of the whole thing and like printed it out and turned it into a checklist. And I still have a ton to go because I don't have too many of the Monster Arts ones, but
Yeah,
it's
luckily I
definitely
got into it
daunting looking
fairly
at that
early.
checklist.
Yeah, luckily I got into it fairly early. So when I was doing it, I didn't have to go backtrack too much, and the prices like were just like starting to creep up a bit on them.
Yeah.
Like, like I remember finding a 2000 at some import store, and they want $100, and I'm like, man, that sounds expensive. And then we walked out of the store, and I googled, and I was like looking up on eBay, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm going back.
Gotta go back and hit that deal. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, he's like 150. I guess I can save myself some money.
Yeah, that's good. Do you have the Space Godzilla and the Little Godzilla pack that came together?
I don't have that one because I got them both individually.
Oh, okay, yeah. But
Yeah,
that's
so I
that's
got
one
the
of the
Space
really cool
Godzilla with the
ones.
beam, and then the little Godzilla with the crystals.
Oh, okay. I can't did they do a two pack at one point? I thought they did.
Yeah, that was a
Unless
special color.
okay, yeah. Yeah, but that set is really cool. I guess buying separately is fine too, but that's I have the Space Godzilla, but I need to go track down the Little Godzilla because that one's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'd say the coloring on it's definitely more vibrant than the one I have. But
Okay. On the
I
two
do
pack?
like the yeah. Oh, what the 2 pack is a little bit more vibrantly colored. Like that's
Okay,
one of the
yeah.
special colors I actually really liked. But because I already had the other ones, I was just like, eh. It's kind of like the Bachelor one, where I think it looks better than the original one, but I already had like the larva set and then them individually. So
Yeah. That's another one I need to. The Batra too is a really cool one. I need to track down at some point. My Monster Arts collection is pretty small. I normally put most of my funds towards the just like the Bandai vinyls and movie monster series.
yeah, I
But
remember you
I
talking
definitely
about
gotta
that.
yeah. So I definitely gotta try and save up a little bit and check a couple of the Monster Arts ones off because I never regret buying them when I get them. They're always super awesome.
Yeah, it's just one of those like, especially like you got to get them as soon as they come out.
Right, yeah. I think I've been keeping up with the new ones as they come out, but I just have to go back through the catalog because I don't well, I definitely missed some because I think I want to say I got the 2014 Godzilla when it came out,
Mm.
and I'm sure I missed some, and then I kind of because I almost took a small break from collecting in around around the time when Godzilla versus Kong or Godzilla King of the Monsters came out, there was a small time frame. I was still watching the movies and everything, and I had my collection all on display, but my buying took a big rest. So I think I probably missed some in there, and then I picked back up.
Yeah, it's kind of like Godzilla for me right now because there isn't really much going on, so I haven't really been hunting the stuff down nearly as hard as I was before. Like I still get
Yeah,
stuff here and there, but
yeah. On one hand, it sucks to not have new content coming out, and and missing wanting to watch new things. But on the other hand, I can definitely be grateful for the time to try and save my money a little bit and hunt down older things. Because when the new stuff's like when all the Playmates Godzilla versus Kong stuff was coming out, I was like all over the city hunting those at all the WalMarts and trying to track down all the Funko Pops. So I could definitely appreciate a little reset time.
oh yeah, for sure. That was like the hunt for content was real.
Yeah, around because we had Godzilla versus Kong and then Singular Point was right there with it pretty much.
Hmm.
So a lot of stuff right in one
Yeah,
thing.
especially with the monster arts, even the newer ones. Like I'm still waiting for my Mecha Godzilla and Singular Point one to come in.
Yeah, I am too. My pre-orders keep just getting pushed further and further. I think the original estimated date of
Yeah,
arrival
because
was
I
in.
even
Sorry.
I was just saying because I seen them even like I pay attention to some like the import sites, like the pre-owned sites, and they had like Ultima on there for like 150 the other day, and I'm like, do I just grab that and cancel my order?
Yeah, that's tempting to, because I still don't know when those orders are coming through. I think I think the original estimated date of release was January, and I still am kind of waiting, just looking at all my pre-orders sitting there.
Yeah, because I think Mecha Godzilla is like May now.
Did it get put? I
What
haven't
they're looking
checked in
at.
a little while. Did it get pushed all the way back to May?
Yeah, I want to say that's what my Amazon said. I got it through another site too because I know Ernest wanted one, so I got two pre-orders in. But I
Okay.
think Amazon they were telling me it was like May. I think Singular Point's probably more towards April.
Wow.
Hopefully when
Okay.
they're hitting us finally.
Yeah, I didn't. I just have all mine through Big Bad Toy Store, so I'm not, and I haven't checked in probably a couple weeks. I don't know. I checked it toward the end of February, and it still said estimated date was February, but obviously that didn't happen. So I don't know if
Mm.
they're saying March at this point or if they're saying even later.
Yeah, it was definitely yeah, from what I heard, it was at least the end of the month.
And there were a couple the Godzilla. There were a couple moments actually where I almost canceled my pre-order for Ultima and the Mecha Godzilla because I Singular Point. I didn't love Singular Point. I think it's a cool Godzilla design and the figure looks really nice, but I just didn't love the show too much. So I thought about canceling that one. And then the Mecha Godzilla, I heard some mixed things. I heard it breaks really easily. And
Yeah, it's like whatever is going on in its lower region with the pistons.
yeah, so I almost canceled that one. I still have both of them active right now, but and I've said it before and I'll say it forever. But the Mecha Godzilla, how could SH Monster Arts miss the opportunity to articulate his hands? I've like watched a couple of reviews of him and he comes with an open set of hands and a closed set of hands, but it seems like it'd be pretty easy to give him some articulated hands.
Yeah, they definitely like even the color scheme on them is, and it seems to be a trend with a lot of the legendary Godzilla designs and even just the offshoot kaiju's is where the models look great for them, but they put like minimal effort in the actual paint job or what they come with them. It's just like good enough and it goes.
Yeah, I know. One part of me almost wonders if they do that intentionally so that a year down the line they can come out with a special color version and get everybody to buy another one.
And to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me because it's
Yeah.
a tactic a lot of companies use. Because even like McFarlane, like for instance, just recently picked up, which I plan on repaint. Like they put that out, and he doesn't even come with like clenched fists,
Well,
but they already like started showing like, hey, the next wave there's gonna be a massive swim, and hey, look, he actually has like different hands to go with him.
and you froze up for a second when you held that up. What was that?
McFarlane Batman,
Oh, okay.
new movie.
Okay. Have you had a chance to see it yet?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I haven't. I was gonna go opening weekend, but by the time I checked any of the show times, all the decent seats were taken. I didn't feel like sitting in the front, so I'll probably try and
Yeah,
go
I was gonna
next
say I
weekend or
ended up
something.
I went like a Sunday afternoon, so we got seats pretty well.
Okay, yeah, but it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty solid.
Yeah, personally, I think it's probably the best standalone one.
Really? Oh, that's nice. Very cool. So sorry, go ahead.
Villain wise, like Heath Ledger Joker's probably still my favorite. I'd say villain wise, Heath Ledger Joker's still my favorite. But I think overall, like the way the story and the way the movie presents itself, like the Batman's really good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stuff, and I think Robert Pattinson is a really good actor, and I was super excited when they announced him as Batman, and they came out with like that little teaser trailer clip at the when the first footage surfaced. I thought it looked really good, and I thought he could probably do a pretty good job of.
Yeah, it was oddly enough, like I was pretty pumped about it. Like I know a lot of people were giving a crap because, like, of course he was in Twilight, but then you see it like a lot of his other movies. You're like, this guy is actually like legitimately good.
Right. Yeah, I wish he'd get a little more credit for all the good stuff he's done instead of being. Did you watch that Lighthouse movie with him and Willem Dafoe in it?
Yeah, I did.
That one was weird. And I didn't love the movie, but the acting you could tell was just really, really top notch.
Yeah, it's a very surreal movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed it, but it's one of those like I can watch it once and I'm good.
Right. Yeah, it's not something you're gonna revisit every month because it's so entertaining and fun.
Yeah, it's just one of those like it was a fun experience. Moving on to the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
So what got you into collecting the vinyls more specifically?
I'm not totally, so I started, and my first figures that I remember going and buying were some of the Bandai creations that they used to have at Toys R Us. Mm-hmm. So part of that might come from it was kind of being my first figures, and I'm not sure. I just kind of gravitate towards liking them a lot, and I really like the other stuff that they do, like the X Plus and the SH Monster Arts are really awesome. But for some reason, I just kind of have it. I have more of a passion to just get the vinyls and try and complete that set as much as I can and get as many of those. Obviously, I try and keep up with new stuff, and I go back and get a thing here and there when I can for the other lines. But in terms of going back and hunting and stuff, for some reason, I just kind of have always been drawn towards the Bandais. I really like them and think they're really fun. And normally they're not too expensive. They're a little on average, well, except for some of the older ones, but on average they trend a little less expensive than like the X Plus, well, especially the X Plus, but even the SH Monster Arts are a little cheaper, so you can kind of your money gets you more figures for the most part. So I don't. That's just kind of. Yeah, that's about.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. That was about it. All I was saying. It was just that's about it. I've always kind of been drawn towards the Bandais. I think they're a lot of fun and they look really good on the shelves. And not that anything else doesn't, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because especially with me, like I remember like when I was younger, I collected a lot of like, of course, like the Trendmasters was like the key Godzilla figures you can get a hold of when you're younger. And then when it started getting old enough and like checking out comic books and stuff, there was one shop in specific down where I live where the guy would get some of the Bandai vinyls in. It was my first introduction to those and be like, these things are amazing. They look like the movies. And that's what got me into collecting those. Because to be honest, out of all my Godzilla stuff, that's probably what I have the most of. Is the Bandai vinyls that I've gotten throughout the years.
Yeah.
Because the really awesome thing about them too, like you mentioned, is they're as expensive as you want it to be.
Right.
You get a lot of the kaijus. Some of the, for the most part, you can flesh out your collection pretty inexpensively compared to a lot of the other stuff. But if you want to get some fancy ones, they do have that option too.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of a nice balance. And they've been kind of, some of their newer releases have kind of, because if you look at some of the figures that were like early 2000s type area, like they're really super awesome. And even the 90s figures, really awesome, really good detail. A lot of, they just look better, good sculpts. And then some of the newer ones have just kind of made me wonder, like, I wonder if they're trying to cut costs on these so they can put put more expensive stuff, like make the difference between the Bandais and the X Pluses way more, way different. Because if you look at, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, some of the newer Bandais, like the Gorosaurus was pretty good. And they did some Japanese store exclusives that were fine, but like there's a recent Kiryu they did that just seemed like a huge downgrade from the other one. And
yeah, the ones that's coming off of my head is like the 2014 vinyls were very lackluster.
For the movie.
Yeah, because you had like the Muto and the Godzilla, which didn't look much better than what we got stateside.
Right. Yeah. I think the Muto I thought was decent. There was like no articulation really, which was kind of lame. and I'm glad we have something because Muto's otherwise pretty much gotten ignored. But yeah, the Godzilla definitely left a little bit to be desired. As as did the they did the reissue Biolante. They had the big 8-inch Biolante,
Mhm.
and then they came out with a 6-inch Biolante, and it just seemed so much less. The
Yeah, I
paint was
still need to get that
lazier.
old Biolante.
Sorry.
I still need to get that old Biolante. It's always one of those ones I've always missed out on.
Yeah, that one's one of my favorite ones. I remember finding it somewhere for a surprisingly good price, so I ordered it on eBay. I can't remember when this was, but I don't think I spent more than like $120 on it.
Yeah, so
And
that's
then
pretty good.
and the guy didn't have this in. I didn't really care. Actually, I didn't even know that it came with a box, but the guy shipped it to me in the original box. So that was just exciting to have an old, like one of the old 8-inch Bandai boxes, because they don't even really do boxes on their stuff anymore. So
Yeah, because I think the only one I got is the Grand Ghidorah. I remember finding that in the box. Which that was fun too, because I got that. I found that one at G Fest, and the guy had it for a really good price. So I was like, yeah, I'm taking that home. And then I
that's
get it
fun.
home, and it looked like, I'm pretty sure it was like in a barn or something, because you open it up and there was like stuff inside of it.
Oh no.
But surprisingly, the box is still good. So I was just like, oh, yeah, whatever, I'll clean it up. It'll be fine.
Yeah, that's nice. It's always nice to keep the boxes around. So you obviously have a bunch of Godzilla stuff and a million other things behind you. Do you try and keep all the packaging for everything, or do you not really care and just kind of discard it?
It depends what it is for the most
Okay.
part. Like I've been slowly starting to get rid of more and more packaging, especially with like Monster Arts. I've been trying to like get the accessories into like divided containers and get rid of the boxes to save some space.
All
Because for
right.
the most part, if I plan on keeping it, I don't need the box. I'm just gonna have it displayed pretty much indefinitely. And then
Hmm.
if I have to sell it, it's not gonna be like because I want to. So keeping the box for the value doesn't really concern me. It's usually if I kind of get hesitant about picking something up when I first get it, maybe I want to part off with it at some point. That's usually when I start leaning in towards either the size of the packaging, or if I got multiples. Because I definitely
Okay.
got like Transformers and stuff where it's like I have like other characters from a series, but it's essentially the same dude. So they'll be hanging out in the box.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of my
For whatever reason, I can't seem to part with a single packaging. Like I have an entire closet just like stuffed with boxes, and I first and like I keep them sort of for the value and for the full collection of it, I guess. But like I don't plan on selling anything, so it doesn't necessarily make sense to keep all the boxes. But for
Yeah,
whatever
that's what I tried
reason,
to do a lot beforehand, but because of space, it's starting to be more like, do I really need that? Is the box really that cool? Because there's some stuff like I really enjoyed the packaging, so I still had that just sitting aside
yeah.
because eventually I might want to do something with it. But it's been more of a necessity at this point because I got like my entire basement wall back there. I have individual cabinets and they're all full.
Of boxes or of
Yeah,
wow.
and it's probably good like uh, probably about 20 feet worth of space, like just going widthwise, and another
Wow,
about
yeah.
3 feet deep, just
Yeah.
full of boxes.
I definitely get that one. And like I said, like I don't have any desire to sell anything. I don't. I never go and look at. I don't like go look at the boxes and check them out and admire them. So they really aren't serving much of a purpose other than taking up a whole bunch of space. But for whatever reason, I can't. Eventually, maybe I'll try and thin it out and at least get rid of like the Playmates boxes. Like I don't. There's no need to have those. I'd probably keep like the Monster Arts ones and some of the cool old Japanese ones that I have, but there's definitely no need to be hoarding the Playmates packaging like I do.
Yeah, that actually just no matter what kind of way, it's usually like full boxes I'll hang on to. But if it just kind
Yeah,
of sat in the package,
trash them. Yeah, I need to do that, and maybe I will shortly here at some, or at least when I need to, when that space starts running smaller. But yeah, even the Playmates packaging, yeah, that just gets hung up and has a guy sitting on it. I have all of that sitting in there. It's a big cluster right now, but
yeah, because I don't even think it really helps the value of keeping it, to be honest, for those ones.
yeah, because if anybody wants it with the packaging, they're gonna want it in the packaging, and if anyone wants it out the packaging, they're probably not gonna care that it has the box separate.
Mhm.
So yeah, that pretty much serves no real purpose, I don't think. So maybe I'll try and thin out the herd a little bit here. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. So what are you kind of mostly collecting right now? Is it mostly Godzilla or mostly a little bit of Godzilla with an emphasis on other?
It's generally kind of all over the place. I'm gonna be honest. I know I
Mm.
need to try to. I've been trying to get better at focusing things, but then I went and bought Batman figures, so I can't really say too much.
Yeah.
Um, but mostly a lot of what I've been focusing on primarily is like movie turtles, the Power Ranger stuff here, and then like actually I generally collect a lot of anime stuff, but
Okay.
because it doesn't do as well at the channel, I don't showcase it as often, and that gets mixed in with my monster stuff.
Okay, gotcha. When you say movie turtle stuff, like are you talking about like the newer movies or?
Primarily it's like the NECAs, like the old NECA ones.
Oh, okay, yeah. The NECAs are really good. They're doing an awesome job with that turtles line.
Yeah, I tried to get into the cartoon one, but it was getting to be a little bit too much trying to do like the movies and the cartoon. So it was like, well, I like the movies more because that's just more what I got me into turtles to begin with. So I'll just stick with those.
Yeah. Yeah, those are definitely a fun line. Fortunately, I guess fortunately and unfortunately, I've kept myself from buying them because I know if I buy one, I'm gonna need to buy them all, and I just don't need to be collecting anything else.
Yeah,
But
that's definitely another line too. That's it's sort of akin to Monster Arts, where it's like when the stuff is out, you got to be on it.
mhm, yeah, yeah, especially it seems like the NECA's just getting more and more popular. I
Hmm.
remember like when they first started with Godzilla, I felt like it was pretty easy to go into the store and find what you wanted. You weren't like in huge danger of having stuff sold out. But then as the as more of the movies came out, I think, and as they started getting more and more stuff in their line, like I remember they, I had to really hunt for them to try and find what I wanted.
Yeah, because I remember even like Pacific Rim was like super easy to find that stuff in the stores for the most
Yeah.
part. And then when I originally got it, then was like with the video game figures. So I was buying like the Dead Space and Gears of War 3 figures at the time. And they were
Okay.
like even like the chase ones you could find pretty easily in the stores.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that has to do more with people just kind of knowing the value of them nowadays.
Hmm.
So though you'll see even a lot of people that might not even be like that interested in the figure, but like, hey, this turtle sells for $80 on eBay. Just grab that thing and go.
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely super annoying to encounter. And I work, and I think I might have mentioned this when we did the video with the Luminous, but I worked at Target for a while, and I'd see that all the time. Like with some of the NECA stuff, people would come in and check that out, and then it was really bad with like the Funko Pops. It was just
Mhm.
like people coming in because they knew if they came in early, they'd get a chase figure, and they go flip it for it'd spend 20 or not even 20, they spend like $12 or whatever those Funkos were running, and then they'd flip it for 80 or whatever, which is super, and and it's tempting to do, I guess, as a collector, especially when I was working at Target and I knew when stuff was coming in. Like it was definitely tempting to be like, oh, I know that's coming in this day, I'll go flip it. But it's just not worth it to me, like to steal it, take it from somebody who really wants it,
Yeah, because
just to
even
make
for
a
me,
quick buck.
it's like you have to do so much volume to begin with to even really merit the cost. So I remember trying to do it a little bit where it would be like, well, there's like a bunch here. I'll buy one. I'll buy one extra one. See what happens. And it
Yeah.
just like the amount of extra effort just to try to do that just never really seemed like it was worth it to me.
Yeah, like unless you're doing it as like a full-time gig, running around and trying to find all this stuff, it's just like between buying another one, listing it, packaging it, shipping it, just to make a few bucks on one, it's definitely doesn't seem like it would be worth all the effort.
Yeah, because one of the memories I got is when I was hunting down the next mutation or the not next mutation, the coming out of the shells tour turtles.
Oh yeah,
They were like a Target exclusive, and I was in there probably like every other day, and every other day I saw like the same five people going
really hunting the
through.
same thing as you.
Yeah, or at least like was doing the same kind of like routine shopping.
Yeah,
It's just
that's
like you
funny.
see like everybody's just like power walking to the aisle trying to get there first.
Right, yeah, yeah. And I for a little while I was really into collecting the Funko Pops, and I tried to complete like the whole Stranger Things line, and I definitely would have that a couple times where I encounter the same people at the store with me in the morning. and then we'd all do the power walk. And then working there also, I saw plenty of people do that, come right back to and I worked back in that department in the electronics area where they keep all the Funko stuff anyways. So I definitely saw plenty of the people right when the doors open, just beelining it back. Did you get anything?
Yeah, as I say, I've also gotten like the dirtiest looks from people too, because I remember like going into Walmart. I'm like, oh hey, they got like all the new turtle stuff, and just cleaning the shelf out and going up to the register, and then you just see the guy just giving you like the dirtiest look as you're walking right past him with this cart full of stuff,
full of all the stuff he wishes he had.
Right?
Yeah, well, and even
5 minutes sooner, buddy.
Right. And even that was even like an issue, I think, for the Playmates stuff. Like I know, fortunately, my Walmart happened to get the one it was really bad for was when the Mechagodzilla first dropped. I remember people were selling that thing for like $80. And fortunately my Walmart had a huge shipper of them. So I just picked up two, one for, one to open up and one to keep sealed. And I kept going back, and I went back like 2 days later and there was like one left, but he definitely got cleaned out a little fast. But I know people were definitely scalping them up, and I was almost tempted to buy more of them, and then like turn around and go to like one of the Facebook groups and just be like, I'm saving these from the scalpers who needs them, and just selling them for retail, but to people who I knew really wanted them.
Yeah, that's why I did for my Discord. So when I found one a Walmart like about an hour and a half away, they got the shipper in. So I ended up buying like 20 figures.
Yeah.
So I bought like the entire set for myself. Plus there was like 4 people looking for the war bats. So I bought extra war bats. I bought extra Mechagodzillas.
Yeah.
Like I think I bought like 3 sets plus like a couple extras, and then was just like shipping them out to people in my Discord that were looking for them.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. That's cool. I was tempted to ask them, because when they had that big shipper in, I was tempted to ask, like, what do I need to do to get this shipper back to my house?
Right.
Because I
still got
that
the
thing.
Pacific Rim one. It hangs out in my basement.
Yeah, the figures were in.
Yeah, it was like what the Blu-ray came in, and they were getting ready to pitch it. I was like, can I just take that? The guy's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm like, sweet. Just walk out the front door with it.
I did that for the 2014 Godzilla. Safeway actually got like a thing, and it was just like a cutout that's probably 5.5 feet tall or something, and it's just Godzilla, and it has like 4, because Safeway doesn't have a million copies of them like Target or Walmart or whatever would, so it just had like 4 pouches for the movies. And I remember, I went to the store because it was like basic, and I was still in high school when that movie came out, so I just went to Safeway before school the morning of the release, just because I knew they'd have the DVD, so I could buy it on the day of release. So I did, and they had that shipper, which I didn't even expect. But I just asked them, like, can I have this when you're done with it? So they just wrote my name and phone number on the back, and they called me like 3 weeks later and said, come pick up your shipper.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I have that one. And then the only other thing I've gotten from a store, I guess, was Walmart gave me the little Funko standout, things that the Funko Pops, like the big 10-inch exclusives came in. There were a couple of those. They had like 4 empty ones and 1 Funko in one of them. So I just asked, like, if I buy this Funko, can I take all of these? And the guy was like, yeah, I don't care. So I bought one more of the Godzilla Neon City Godzillas, and then I was able to get all those cool Funko displays. So I actually have all my Funko Pops set up in those shipper displays.
I remember I was buying the alien stuff for our Neds, and they had like the little shipper, and I was just like, well, he wants all these anyway, so I just took the entire thing up to the register. Nobody questions anything.
Yeah, they probably don't care because they just throw them away when they're done with them. And if they're gonna, especially with like the Funkos and stuff like that, like if the distributor sends them more, they're gonna send them another shipper anyways, because that's just how they send them. So they were grateful, I guess, probably grateful for us cleaning out their garbage for them.
Right. I think the coolest one I've gotten was when I was younger, as my stepdad worked at Walmart. And this was like back when like Star Wars Episode 1 came out, and they had this giant plastic Naboo fighter display.
Oh,
it was pretty much like a 6-foot long toy.
Wow.
It was just like a giant plastic version of the ship. He ended up taking that home, and that hung up in my bedroom for like the longest time.
Whoa, that's pretty sweet. Do you guys still have that somewhere, or is it gone?
I ended up having to get rid of it for space.
Yeah.
The thing is, on my honeymoon, driving through Cleveland, we stopped in and checked out this one toy place that was popular. I ended up going back and trading it in, and we drove it like it's probably a good like 4 hours to get to the place. So in my PT Cruiser, we had this giant 6-foot number fighter and just drove it all the way there.
That's
I think
funny.
I got like 800 trade for it.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it seems like something like that would be. I doubt anybody else has that. So it's
Yeah,
definitely
you don't
cool.
see it too often.
Yeah, I've tried to like
This
poke around, like eBay and stuff to see, just like if anyone else has that Godzilla shipper or whatever, just to see if people are selling it, like what the value of it might be. And I don't find it anywhere. So it definitely seems like most of those probably get thrown out. So it's definitely cool to have little things like that.
Yeah, the only ones I think I ever see is the one from the theater. I've seen some people trying to sell where they had like the Godzilla letters.
Oh yeah. That would have been cool to get. I don't have the space for that, but that would have been really cool to get.
Yeah, I think it would took up like my entire basement wall.
But yeah, I did see people selling that. You're right. I have seen all the letters. It's pretty sweet. But yeah, definitely, you definitely would need a huge space for all of that.
Yeah, don't get too much with the super big things. Yeah, a lot of my really large stuff is generally more proppy.
Yeah, but what else do you have if you got any stories or anything fun?
For the most part, it's mainly with a lot of my collecting stuff. Although, I was doing this the other day. I don't know if you play games. It's the Galahorn from Destiny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I want to say McFarlane made it. It's like the prop of that one. Most of my fun stuff around here is mainly a lot of my customizing stuff, which I don't have too much of my own things. Like one I did recently for myself as I touched him up,
Okay.
redid the gold on him and weathered his blue a bit.
Yeah, he looks really. The colors look really vibrant. I'm not sure I don't know what the original looks like, but that looks really good.
Yeah, it's mostly the same coloring. It's just he was like just straight gold. It was like straight gold and blue, so I added like some dark blues to make the detailing on his
Oh,
whatever this undersuit's called. And
yeah.
then for this, I dry brushed a dark gray and then went back over it with some gold, and it gives it a little bit more of an actual like metallic look.
Yeah. So what kind of got you into wanting to like do customizations and stuff?
To be honest, it was a lot of the stuff was just I was kind of bored, and then like I used to be in the Gundam models and kind of putting the stuff together anyways. And after watching some people on YouTube making stuff, I was like, yeah, that seems kind of fun. And then after doing a couple of repaints and my own kind of customs, started kind of spawning into what it is now, where majority of my customs actually tend to go out to other people. So like that one I just did for myself, but most of the other ones I'm working on right now is for commissions.
Okay, gotcha.
That's a lot of it kind of just spawned from just I'm not making the thing, so I just wanted to make one for myself.
Yeah,
because I think I showed you the Guyver one.
When we were all doing that call.
That one when you're with the
I'm trying to remember. I know you brought out one, but I'm not familiar enough with any of the most of that stuff to remember.
This guy, they lost his
Oh,
but they don't make a figure of this guy.
Wow.
So what he used to be, he was a vinyl statue, kind of like an X Plus.
Okay.
That I chopped up and put over top of a 1/6 naked body.
Oh wow.
And then I resculpted her. Like pretty much all the black is pretty much all redone. Well, his eyes did light up.
Was that something you added by yourself, or was that already kind of a feature on the statue?
No, it was I had to do all that. So I had to redo his eyes. So I had to make resin mold, I had to make silicone molds and pour resin in to make the shape of the eyes. And then it has its own dollhouse battery and lighting in the head.
Wow, that's really cool. That's awesome. You can do all that.
Yeah, because I figured we were doing this. This is for a guy.
Oh, that's really fun.
Making a NECA Space Godzilla.
That's awesome. So that's actually the NECA. Like
it's the NECA 89. And then the guy had a really beat up Space Godzilla Bandai vinyl. So I reused the spines and the crystals from it, and then resculpted the shoulders, did the chest, did his little brain region here. The knees I had to make bigger than they were in the movie, just so I didn't have to worry about them breaking off.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then slowly, I pretty much what I got left is I got to finish cleaning this up and then making his. You'll see, he kind of looks like Pinhead right now.
Yeah, but it looks that's really cool. Like, how do you go about chopping up, like, like chopping up the Bandai one? How's that process work?
It depends what I'm doing. So for that one, it was what parts do I need that I really don't want to try and sculpt. So for
Mm-hmm.
instance, like the crystals would be a pain in the butt because they have to be super smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And then trying to add the extra detailing on the side. It's doable, but it'd be a lot more steps than just taking that and then building his shoulder around it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then same thing with the dorsal spines. Like the Godzilla and his dorsal spines are way different, and then sculpting that would also take a considerable amount of time. But if you take the dorsal spines off the figure, it takes you like a few extra minutes. So
Wow. So it's a pretty
a
quick
lot of it's
process.
more cost cutting measures.
Okay.
While on a like a articulated one, like say the Legion one I just did not that long
Mm-hmm.
ago. His more you have to pay attention to the chops, like where you want the articulation at. So you do rough cuts. So like for her little arm things on the side of her head, you do rough cuts where you want the joints to be at, and then you slowly start cutting more away to start making where you're going to put the joints and getting your where you want your movements at. So you do the same thing, like you chop the waist off and then start trying to figure out, okay, it needs to move forward and back. So how much of this has to start going? And you slowly just kind of whittle away at it till you get to where you want to.
Wow. Okay, that's really cool. Have you had any like super high risk customs you're trying to do, like on like a really expensive figure that you super don't want to make any mistakes on?
Yeah, the Guyver one's probably one of the higher ones. Just because I had like a little over $100 into that to begin with before I even started it.
Oh
Because
wow.
like I had to buy the kit
Yeah.
and I had to decide if I want to keep that kit the same and just put it together, or if I'm going to sit here and start chopping all the way over. Because once you start, there's not really much of a real
No
way to
turning
come
back.
back from it.
Yeah.
The scariest one is I did a prototype for a dude. So he bought a Treadmasters animated series prototype from
Okay.
Godzilla, the '98 movie. It was the C-Rex. And he was like, he bought like the base model, the base figure, but it's just like from the factory. So it's just like whatever plastic that they use. And he wanted
Hmm.
me to make it look like the animated series.
Okay.
And it's like, I want to say it was like $800 figure.
Wow.
So I'm taking an $800 figure that's probably only made, like got 20 of them out there in the world, because they were only like whatever the factory made to show Treadmasters the for it.
Right. Okay.
So I had to repaint that plus make a stand so it had someplace to sit up without damaging anything.
Wow. That sounds like quite the mission.
Yeah, so he was a little bit nerve wracking. That's why I like doing repainting the Playmates ones and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that one looks really cool.
This one's just the skull crawler that's going to be going out here soon.
Yeah, he looks really good. Yeah, the skull crawler, like the factory paint on the skull crawler, definitely left something to be desired.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the, because the nice thing at least about the Playmates, like the Godzilla versus Kong figures, is the sculpting on them. It actually has like enough detail, put a little bit extra work in it. They actually look pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like the way he's set up, like you can sit next to like the Monster Arts Kong and look fine.
Yeah. Yeah. They definitely look. The sculpts on them aren't too shabby, but the paint definitely is kind of a little lackluster, underwhelming.
Mm. But then again, it's like they're like what, like $10?
Yeah, right. For the
Around
price,
there,
they
it's-
definitely can't complain too much because they are very very affordable. And then
and then I got like some of the more crazy ones. This one I actually just got done. This one's all sealed. But
Oh,
it's
wow.
designed after the Godzilla manga.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so it's like a warrior Godzilla.
Yeah, and is that like oh, that's another head on that stick there. Wow. So is that the
Yeah, so this can actually
54?
still hold the flame. And they
That's
made
pretty
it look like a
awesome.
giant mace.
Wow. That's really cool. Did you just make that for yourself, or is that another one that you're
It's
getting?
another commission. It's the
Okay.
same person that I did the Godzillas for.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really cool, unique. So did somebody for something like that? Does somebody come to you and say, "I have this idea," or do you kind of make something and just sell it?
That a lot of it's IDs. Um, Depending on the person, is how much like freedom I get with it. Like that one was just like, hey, I just want it to look kind of like the manga, but here's the parts.
Okay.
Have fun with this. So then that's what that happens. The same with like the Godzillas. I didn't really have pretty much too much direction in the way I needed to go with it, but the general idea, like it was like, here's what the concept photo is. Here, what do you need to kind of get to that? So worked out like what figures they needed to pick up in order to for the parts to kind of help keep the cost down, and
Yeah.
then kind of assembled it after that.
Okay. Yeah, that one was really cool, super fun and unique. Bet you nobody has that on their shelf.
Yeah, it's definitely a 101. That's the one nice thing is like, especially some people that get a hold of me with stuff is how like unique of things they want. Because
Yeah.
even if it's not like that unique, like say like the Legion, there's not anybody else that has a monster art sized Legion.
Right. Yeah. Makes it pretty unique and one of a kindish.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely awesome. Yeah. So pulling things back to our movies and recent releases and whatnot. Obviously, we chatted a bit about the upcoming series that Apple TV is doing with Godzilla. But I think kind of the general fear of that is it's going to be really people driven and not see too much monster action. So but I definitely know they're pushing for a movie, another MonsterVerse movie. Where would you like the MonsterVerse to go in terms of movie wise? Like, what monsters do you want to see? What do you want to have happen?
Yeah, I think we touched on it a bit previously, but I still think Violente would have been a really cool monster to show up in there
Mm-hmm.
because it almost kind of writes itself. Where it would have been hard to have like Kong there, but you could have had like, for instance, if we were going like the Godzilla versus Kong route, where Violente, like they're doing experiments on like plants and stuff with Godzilla cells,
Mm-hmm.
and the plants start taking over the island. So then you have a reason to get Godzilla there because it's sort of related to him. So
Right.
it draws Godzilla for there, but then also it's on the island, so then it gives a reason for Kong to be there too.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be really cool.
And plus, with like it being such a big, intimidating monster, because you kind of have a reason for them to both team up, but they could also clash because they're both coming to the island. Godzilla's coming to the island, Kong's on the island, but they might not know the reason why they're both there yet.
Yeah, that would definitely be an interesting route to see them take. And it's a lot of people that I've talked to seem to want Biolante. So hopefully Legendary has kind of heard what a lot of people are saying, and yeah, Biolante would definitely be a top tier addition for a new
Violent to
movie.
destroy would be sweet,
Yeah, Destroy would be really awesome.
since they already brought in the Oxygen Destroyer anyways.
Right? Yeah, I'd give them an easy tie-in. Yeah.
Personally, I'd like to see Megalon. Megalon would be kind of dope.
But yeah, it'd be cool. A lot of those like older classic monsters that we haven't seen in a long time. It would just be really cool to see a redesign of them. Like, what are they going to look like now? Because obviously we've seen Godzilla and Kong, and respectively, have each had tons of different variations. And we've seen them throughout the years. And Ghidorah, we've seen him plenty. And Mechagodzilla, we've seen him a lot. But yeah, Megalon would be a super cool one, just because we haven't really seen too much of him, at least not in a while.
Yeah,
And yeah, just
it's
some of
like
those
you had
other.
like the brief thing at Singular Point, but even that's like, eh.
Yeah. But yeah, a big live screen adaptation of someone like that, like Megalon, or another one cool one would be Orga. He doesn't seem like he gets any too much attention. He was kind of one and done in Godzilla 2000. So Orga would be pretty
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, he'd be really cool. If they really want to go out there too, like Mega Gears would be a different one too. Just if they want to go like the different dimension route,
Right, that'd
It
be
seems
really
to be
cool.
a kind of a popular thing nowadays too.
Yeah, yeah,
DC
that
and
could
Marvel
be.
kind of doing that same thing.
Yeah, that'd be definitely interesting, and it could be a cool. I don't know if they'd want to gamble doing a Mothra solo movie, but just because it might be a little too, you know, Godzilla's obviously a big marquee name, but Mothra might not draw as much, so it'd be kind of risky. But it would be really cool for the fans, like the true fans, would really enjoy it, like a Mothra standalone movie, with Megaguirus in it, and could be, they could kind of have a cool fight, or Batra. One of them could provide a fun enemy for Mothra to kind of have a solo movie, I think too.
It'd be cool because then it's kind of harken back to the older, like her having her own standalone movies to begin with, anyways.
Right, right, yeah, it'd be really cool.
Because I know a lot of people also want like to see Gamera get into the universe.
Right, yeah, it'd be really cool, and I could get behind it, but it'd just be kind of interesting because it's like Gamera. Godzilla's already been established as like a protector of Earth, which is what Gamera is too, and basically what Kong is also. So it'd just be interesting to have three of those kind of same role good guy monsters, and
Yeah,
how would
that's
they react? Because obviously, even if they all had good, they all had their Earth defending intentions, they kind of would still clash with each other. But that would be a really cool kind of addition to have Gamera, and then have all three of them have to team up and do some crazy huge fight Destroya.
yeah, because especially since they like kind of like Kong and Godzilla already have their like established areas where they're going to be kind of like the protectors of. So
Yeah.
yeah, so they'd be tossing Gamera. It'd almost be more focused, kind of like King Caesar in a way,
Yeah, that could be.
where it's like it's a good guy, but he's only a good guy if you go in that general direction.
Yeah, yeah. But it'd definitely be interesting to see how Godzilla would react to Gamera being there, because obviously, unless Gamera just acknowledged that he doesn't want to fight Godzilla might be cool with him if he just bent the knee and took his place next to Godzilla type of thing. But if Gamera was definitely going for the Alpha title, he'd have to get through Godzilla first, and that would create some problems.
That would be a cool movie though.
But yeah, and it would be cool, I think, to introduce Gamera and have him and Godzilla kind of do a little fight, and then realize like, no, we kind of, but more, he definitely kicked the crap out
Yeah,
of Kong good enough,
it would
but
essentially just be more of the same at that point.
yeah, it would just kind of be more of like okay, they're gonna fight and they're gonna have to team up together. But it would be it would be cool to have Gamera introduced somehow and see a really cool redesign of Gamera and have him introduced somehow.
Because you remember that trailer that came out like God, it's years now.
The one where Gamera like floats down into that city, and
Yeah,
yeah,
where it has like the Gauss initially, and then he just kind of shows up, and it's like the plates like start shifting up when he's ready to do his fire blast.
yeah, I think I saw that, or I saw something else, and I'm getting mixed up because I definitely saw some sort of Gamera related.
Yeah, it was like it. I want to say it was like 2014 time, probably like a little bit after, because I think it was like before Shin Godzilla was a thing. But it was like Godzilla did well, so they kind of put out like a concept trailer for Gamera, and then like nothing ever really came of it.
Oh yeah, a Gamera standalone would be good too. Just if Toho just decided to reboot Gamera,
Yeah, or,
I could definitely get behind
actually, I
that.
don't even know who has the rights for that anymore, because I know it was Dai, but I don't think they're around.
Oh, I thought, I just always assumed that was a Toho thing. Okay, but yeah, if
Because that was a
whoever.
different company.
Okay, well, that would, either way, yeah, it'd be cool to have just like a Japanese Gamera reboot, or have a Gamera standalone movie stateside that just it's not in the MonsterVerse, it's just a Gamera movie. It would be really cool to get Gamera on screen again.
I'd be down for that. Just like a legendary kind of sort of like just kind of like offshoot, like how Pacific Rim's its own thing, even though it sort of ties in some little ways. But
Yeah, just something standalone-ish, but similar enough that it feels kind of the same. Would be really cool.
yeah, especially just to get some more variety out there.
Yeah. So, speaking of Toho, what do you want to kind of see them do? Do you want them to keep doing Singular Point? You want them? I know. There's been some talk of like a Shin Godzilla sequel, or just another fresh reboot of Godzilla. What would you kind of want them to do most?
I think I'd rather just see a fresh reboot because the way Shin Godzilla worked, I think the way it ended, I don't really see a good way of spinning that off without really like taking away from the way that film ended.
Right.
And like it just adds its own little thing. I think it's just like getting to the end, it's just perfect. Singular Point, super pumped for too, to be honest, because anime is my thing,
Yeah.
and I think they actually did a fairly good job with what they were going for, and much better than what they did with the CG trilogy that they did for Netflix.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think it's just like another reboot, but actually have them kind of tied together this time around.
Yeah.
So, sort of like, be honest, if they just kind of took it back to more show up.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be nice. I'm definitely kind of in that same boat where, yeah, Shin Godzilla, I'm fine with that being a one and done. If they want to do more Singular Point, cool. I would be definitely down for it. But my number one thing from Toho would be just another movie. Just it could maybe standalone-ish or kind of do what they did for a while, where everything was just a sequel to the original, or an Ultrazilla. I was talking to Ultrazilla the other week. And he brought up a really good point that excited me is like they've never done a reboot or not even like a remake of the original. Like have it set in 1954, just remake the original, with updated, keep the plot vaguely the same, the characters kind of the same, but just reboot the, remake the original with, with updated everything and make it look way better and in color. And but so that was I thought that was a really good idea from him. That got me excited for that. I mean, that idea was exciting.
Yeah, that's to say, that would actually be pretty sweet because then that would kind of tie into what I was thinking, anyways, with them kind of going back to sort of the Showa formula, at least like early Showa formula.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
plus then you got a lot of the work from there too. Plus you can even branch out a little bit differently if you wanted to.
Yeah, it would give you a lot of different paths you could take if you brought it back and said, "Okay, we're in 1954, Godzilla's just happening. We do that movie, and then then the sky's the limit in terms of where you take it, because that you're basically starting from a fresh slate." Would be really interesting to see what they would have to do and what stories they could tell from there.
And even taking some of the more, I would say goofier concepts now, but making it more serious and more kind of like how Shin Godzilla was, where it's like kind of set in the realm of realism and
Hmm.
maybe, but introducing more of the qualities that make the Showa films really good, but just kind of making it more down to earth than what it kind of branched out to towards the end.
Yeah, that would be really fun too. Definitely be down to see some of that stuff. It'd be really exciting.
Mm-hmm. Was there any other stuff you collect outside of just Godzilla?
No, not really. It's pretty much just the Godzilla. Like I had, I had a bunch of things that I collected at certain points when I was younger. Like I had a really big, time when I was collecting Star Wars and then Turtles for a while, and those were definitely the biggest two. I did Star Wars and Turtles. And I still have some of that stuff. I think it's just all in boxes at my parents' house though. So, but now, now it's pretty much just I just only do Godzilla stuff now. I just, I don't have enough money to be branching out too much. I'd have to miss too many Godzilla things if I was much more, stretched out more thinly. So yeah, pretty much just all the Godzilla stuff for me.
Yeah, because I know, especially for now, it's mainly like I try to keep up with certain lines more so than just specific genres.
Yeah, there's definitely I have the problem where I'm kind of like a completionist in terms of the sets and lines and stuff. So like I don't feel like I can put that line to rest until I have the whole thing. Like I was really sure to like make sure I got all the Funko Pops and all the Playmate stuff because they were all really new and available. And so I was, I definitely snagged up all those. And the same with NECA. I was collecting those from the start, and I was able to pick those up as they came out. So yeah, I definitely just stick with the Godzilla stuff because I can't get into collecting much more stuff. I'm gonna start missing pre-orders and missing stuff like that.
Yeah, I try my best not to like. I like to complete it enough for myself, anyways. Like for instance, like Power Rangers, like I have most everything that's like Mighty Morphin,
Yeah.
but I'm okay missing most of the rest of the lines as long as it has something that like I did watch when I was a kid. So at that point,
Okay. Yeah.
it, so like for instance, I have like the In Space Rangers because I watched In Space because the turtles were in it when I was younger. So I have the In
Okay. Yeah.
Space Rangers. Hopefully they do the next vacation ones at some point. A lot of the alien stuff like it was because I really like the movies, so I got the ones for the movies. I buy the Kenner ones because I used to collect them when I was younger. I still collect the Kenner aliens figures. Um, Transformers is a weird one because it was like I got into it originally because like video gaming. So I have like all the video game ones. That one's like one of the complete sets that I have. And
Okay.
then I like Transformers Prime, so that's another one I got like most of the complete majority wise. I at least have all the characters.
Yeah. The Transformers seem like a hard line to collect because I'll go into the stores. It seems like there's 2 or 3 different lines that just like Target alone. There's like 3 different sets you can complete like that are actively out right now. So
Yeah,
that
it
one
gets
seems like a
crazy.
pretty involved line to collect.
Yeah, for the most part, like the new stuff, I stick with just the movie ones that have been coming out.
Okay.
They've been doing the old animated movie, so I've been buying some of those, which I'm a little behind. But for the most part, I've been kind of like cherry picking characters that I just like from that one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because most of the hard stuff, it's pretty much like Transformers. Like I'll cherry pick guys that I like. Um, Prime's the only one I really like hard got into the show and grabbed everybody.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. The Transformer stuff definitely was pretty cool. That's one of the lines that always kind of was like fairly tempting to like, oh, it'd be cool to start getting some of these. They're cool looking.
Mm-hmm. I've had quite a few friends that were that's what got them into collecting was doing the Transformers
With the
stuff.
Transformers. Yeah. Yeah. I just have to, I'm so weak with the Godzilla stuff because I buy, I just try and buy everything. So I have to stay strong on all the other fronts or I just would
Mm-hmm.
go crazy broke.
Yeah, because like I mentioned earlier, the Godzilla stuff kind of gets tied in with my anime when I'm buying stuff because more of that stuff gets imported.
Okay. Yeah.
But I've been kind of pretty much just been sticking with Monster Arts and the vinyls for the most part anymore.
Yeah.
Um, are you excited for the Mezcos that are going to be coming out?
Yeah. I'm super hyped about those. I have both those sets on pre-order. And I have the yeah, so I have those on pre-order and I'm really excited for them. I think they look really cool. I think my pre-order, I think same as the Monster Art stuff, my pre-order got pushed back on
Yeah.
those because I think we were supposed to already have at least one set by now. And
Yeah,
the
I think we're
second
supposed to have
one,
to destroy all monsters because there's still the Mothra set and the Hedorah set that got announced too. Yeah, I don't even know when those come out anymore.
yeah, and they're doing like the Hedorah, the Godzilla and Hedorah one. Uh, I haven't pre-ordered that one. I probably will, but that one was kind of like it was the same price as the was the Destroy All Monsters set, but the Destroy All Monsters set comes with 4 figures, and this one only comes with Godzilla and Hedorah. It comes with way more effects and some buildings and stuff.
Yeah, because you
But
also
like,
get the flying form too.
yeah, it's got the multiple forms, but I don't know. I just would like I don't know. I'll probably end up buying it, but for that price, like I'd prefer 3 or 4 monsters,
Yeah,
like,
it's
as
like
opposed to
they
so
try
many
to
like the
make up for it with
effects.
all the extra stuff that it's coming with,
Right. Like
which
I
I
don't
can
really
kind
care
of
about the
understand.
buildings and that little green eyelid that goes for Godzilla. Like it's cool, but I'm just gonna end up losing. Like that's just gonna fall off and get lost. I imagine that's so tiny.
Yeah, it's like with my X Plus one. I like out of the my X Plus collection is weird because for the most part, it's like the stuff I really like, but for reasons I have Godzilla and Hedorah. Even though I
Yeah.
wasn't really that into the suit, but I have the Rick, so I have him with like the eyepiece and everything, and he comes with the orbs
Yeah.
that
Okay.
you can hold. And then I have the Land Hedorah because I always thought he was cool, and they don't really have like any other good figures of it.
Yeah. It is cool
So
that
I just
Hedorah's getting some more love though, because yeah, he definitely doesn't have much.
yeah, so like I got the Hedorah, but just because I was like, well, they don't really make anything for him, so like, I'll grab the X Plus, and I'm like, well, now I gotta get the Godzilla.
Yeah. Are you getting the Hedorah X Plus or the Hedorah Monster Arts?
Yeah, I tried to with Monster Arts. If it's a new mold, I definitely grab it.
Yeah, because that one came over. I can't remember when it comes out. I think it's in the summer, maybe.
Yeah, I've heard he's probably pushed too though.
Yeah, but that one was like some of these Monster Arts prices are so weird because That one I think is like $200. Granted, you get the couple forms and whatnot, but the Mecha Godzilla 2021 was way expensive. Like I think that one was 150 basically.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's weird because like certain ones, like the Mechagodzilla, to be honest, it's overpriced. But it's a new mold, and if you don't get it, it's going to be even more overpriced.
Yeah, it's just going to get worse.
But with the Dora, it's like it's more money, but he's arguably a bigger figure and comes with more stuff.
That's
so
fair.
Like what it all comes with, it seems like a better value.
Yeah.
And then like they make like fairly inexpensive Godzillas because like the Kong and the 2021 were like 68.
Right, yeah, those are the ones. Like, how are these so cheap? And the Kong actually came with quite a bit. Like, he got 2 heads, like 4 sets of hands, and the axe.
Yeah, but then you go to the 89, which is the same, like about the same size, but he's like $30 extra.
Yeah, because I think he was like 90 or something in the 2021 Godzilla. Maybe part of what kept that price down was they basically reused most of him. They probably resculpted a little bit here and there. They did that second set of the really weird hands that I actually like, those hands that have the weird angry roar.
I think a lot of it too is just they have access to the 3D model.
Yeah.
So either somebody had to model it themselves at the company, or they had to. I'm not sure if Yuji Sakai still sculpts them or not. So I know that's what bumped up the prices originally, is because of how much it costs for him to make them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely be interesting to see like more of a breakdown of where these costs are coming from.
But with that Mezco line, that's kind of what I'm hoping it becomes real, or it looks as good as what it is. Because like that's one of the reasons I was buying X Plus, because there isn't really a good. They're like the best suit accurate option.
Yeah.
But the way the Mezco ones, like they look almost just as good for less shelf space.
Yeah, they're nice and small little ones. And when they announced that Destroy All Monsters set, because that comes with like the whole cast of Destroy All Monsters, that made me like super excited for the possibility of them doing the same, like like an 8-figure set, but for Final Wars. I think that could be really fun because I really love that Final Wars suit. And then Monster X and Kaiser Ghidorah are really fun. Get the Gigan with interchangeable hands, maybe, and like a Mothra and Rodan. Like I think that would make a really fun set since they did Destroy All Monsters.
That you don't really get much love in other figure forms outside of like I think YMSF is starting to make a few of them, but there's barely like no versions of the Ebra as a figure. There's not really anything Hedorah, King Caesar. I think Rodan Angerus, you can get a few things.
Yeah, but definitely hitting some of those figures that don't get a lot of love.
Yeah, you even do like the Kamacuras and Manda from the movie.
Yeah, that would be cool. They don't get too much. Does Kamunga even have I don't think Kamunga even has a Bandai. Maybe there's one. I'm trying to think.
I know Kamacuras has one. Yeah, Kamacuras has one. I know because the one I keep thinking of is the YMSF.
The Kamunga? That's the only Kamunga I have, is the YMSF.
Yeah, I gotta grab that. It's that the Ebra I keep seeing go up for sale, and I'm like, I probably should grab it, but then they sell out.
Yeah. I never bought. That was my first YMSF. Was that Kamunga? I think he did like a repaint version that came out just last year.
Yeah, he's done like a different eye variants.
Yeah, so I bought that one, and that was the first Kamunga I'd ever gotten. And I have the one Bandai Kamacuras. But I haven't really done much of the YMSF figures for whatever reason, just because I've been mostly trying to focus on the Bandais. But I knew I wanted a Kamunga at some point, and I call him my drug dealer because he just gets all these Godzilla figures and sends me pictures of them. And he's like, "You want this?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I do." So he sent me one of those.
Give it to me.
Yeah, basically, it's gotten to the point where he'll literally just like send me pictures, and I'll be like, "Oh, how much? When can I have this?"
Oh, I remember that. Especially like before like the internet, when you like I had to drive around and stuff. I had a few buddies that would just like, yeah, we're at like this random mall. Let's go check out like some of the random shops, and I get pictures and be like, hey, you looking for this? I'm like, yeah.
How much is it?
What's your PayPal?
Yeah, exactly. That's about like that's the game I play with this guy. But he gets a lot. He hooks me up with a lot of cool stuff, and his prices are pretty good. Like he was able to get me my 40th anniversary memorial box for a pretty good price. He got me the big 90. Let me see if I can turn it. The 91 Bandai. How do I point
Oh,
that way? He was able to give me the 91 Bandai, which is one been looking for a long time. So he's definitely come through and gotten me some awesome stuff. But every time my phone lights up and it's him, part of me is happy and part of me is like, oh, I'm spending money.
right. I know there's a guy around here that has a vintage toy shop, and in there he has the 89, but it's the giant RC version.
Oh,
Yeah, so the
wow.
thing's like good 2 feet tall, and it has like, and this is like literally like a remote control, so you can control the arms. It
That's
moves,
too
it can walk,
cool.
it
Yeah.
roars,
Have you seen
and
it?
yeah, I've got to play with it.
Oh, that's so cool.
I also know how much he wants for it, so
Yeah, I don't even know what that thing's. I haven't really seen that thing ever on like I don't know. I've never really stumbled across it on eBay or anything. Like, what's the trending price of that thing?
I think he's looking for about 800.
Wow, not too
I
bad.
don't see the Godzilla as much. I've seen the Mecha before, but the Mecha goes for a few grand.
Really? What? Who made those?
To be honest, I'm not even sure.
Because I didn't even know there was a mecha, so I'll have to look up some pictures or at least familiarize myself with the line.
Yeah, I seen one guy when I was at G Fest. He had one where it's like the head will do the spin, the
Oh,
mouth
that's so
jaw
cool.
moves, the hands move, and it still like walks and everything.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, and it's freaking gigantic. They're like 2 feet tall.
I love the big ones. Yeah, like the 91. I mean, that one's not too big, but that one's really good. And then he also helped me get the 64, the old Bandai that's like 18 inches tall or whatever. So I have that one down here. And then I have before I started buying through him, I was able to track down like the Bandai Super Premium Godzillas. Those had been some of my like holy grail. Like, I need this figure for a long time. So I was really excited to track those down.
And I think most of my really big ones is I got like the X Plus 62 gigantic, my Shogun Warrior Godzilla.
Yeah. Did
But
you get the Shogun when it came out? Like, were you able to pick it up when it first was out and get it?
oh no, I was a little too. I was too. I don't think I was around yet when he first came out.
Okay, yeah, I can't remember when he came out. I know he's pretty old though.
Yeah, I want to say 70s.
70s. Okay.
It was like mid to late 70s that guy came out.
Yeah. When I was in high school, my band teacher, like I was just wearing a Godzilla shirt one day and he was like, "Oh, you like Godzilla stuff?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." So he started talking. He was like, "Yeah, there were like these old Shogun Godzillas." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I know about those." And he said, "Yeah, he was able to pick up the Godzilla and the Rodan like at the store, and he had them forever when he was a kid. I think he got rid of them,
Yeah, I
but
say I've never really seen the Rodan in person.
I haven't either. I've only seen, and I know he's way more expensive than the Godzilla, and the Godzilla
Yeah,
is expensive. Like, if you get a mint Godzilla, it's like $1,000 or something
yeah. I think
or more.
mine. I spent like I want to say like 175, and he has everything's good, but like his 1 foot where the track is, there's a little crack.
Oh yeah, the
I
one,
was like, I can live with that because it's like you can't see it. So,
yeah, you can hide it behind another figure or just turn him. But
well, it's just like under his foot, so
oh, it's
he just
under.
stands there and he looks fine.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I remember I freaked out when I got mine because I was in high school and I would just like I would just go to Craigslist every so often and type in Godzilla and just see if anyone was selling anything. So I did my usual thing, scrolling through the stuff, and this guy posted the Shogun Godzilla, no box or anything, and it came with the hand, but the firing mechanism doesn't work, and
Yeah,
the
that's
lever
what
on
I
the
found.
back of his head was snapped off. But you can still grab the tongue and like pull it out, but the lever just doesn't really work because it's snapped.
Yeah.
But he was selling that for $25.
Oh yeah, I'd hop down that all
So
day,
yeah,
every day.
I was like, I don't care if if it's kind of broken, like $25. Like, I've seen people selling just the hand on eBay for $25-$30. So I was super
Yeah,
psyched to be able to get that for $25.
yeah, especially like that little problem. Like that's a pretty common one. Is that thing snapped? Like that's what jumps the cost up on him is a bit. Is if that thing's intact still.
Yeah, yeah. At some point, it would be really cool to go back and to like track down a mint one.
Yeah,
But
or even I think there's somebody that 3D prints them.
oh, really?
If I'm not mistaken, I think they make like some guy makes like you could swap it out. Like you'd have to tear them apart, but
Oh,
you
and
can
just 3D print just the Switch.
yeah, and then you just like swap out the broken
Oh,
little
okay.
piece.
That'd be pretty. Yeah, that'd be cool. And then it's cool Super 7 doing those little. Did you pick up the little Super 7?
No, I was hoping to see one see one in the shops.
Yeah, I haven't seen one at a
I,
store, but I picked them up when they went on for pre-sale. I think I just got them on Big Bad Toy Store, but they turned out really good. Like I'm looking at them. They like the one that has the same paint sculpt, like looks exactly like the big one. Only it's.
yeah, somebody in my Discord shared it with me. I'm like, God, I probably should.
Yeah, they're pretty fun, and they weren't too. I think they're only like $20 or something, 22 maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't anything bad because they're sort of just like more detailed reaction figures that they do.
Yeah, and I'd never heard of Super 7 pre the Godzilla stuff that they did. But it looks like they're going to be doing more, or they are going to be doing more stuff. They announced they're doing like a reaction series. I can't remember who all's in it. It's going to be like, I think they're doing like a Godzilla, Titanosaurus, maybe Mechagodzilla. I can't
Um,
remember who all's in that line, but they just announced it recently.
yeah, there's Rodin. I want to say Mothra's in it.
Was Mothra? Titanosaurus might not even be in it.
Jet Jaguar is one because I remember there's a video I seen where the guy's talking about it.
Yeah, I should remember what was in it. I did a video like when they announced it. I did a video talking about it, and I can't even remember what it was. But
Yeah, then they're doing Ultimates, but they haven't quite figured out what they want to do yet.
yeah, but they'll be exciting to keep watching because their stuff seems to be fairly, a decent price. And if they keep kind of doing some fun figures, I'll keep picking them up. They're pretty
Yeah,
cool.
because it sounds like I think it was like Pixel Dan was talking about with the dude or something. But they're supposed to be doing they're gonna do like versus packs. Or not packs, but like when they make a wave, it's just gonna be two figures at a time. So it'd be like
Okay.
Godzilla plus like something from the battle.
Oh, okay, that'll be fun. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, they just keep doing different years of Godzilla and just give us fun opponents. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because I think the cost is supposed to be a little more than their usual ultimates, but they're much larger too.
Yeah.
So I don't think I got a good one here, but like the Godzillas would be like more like about like 7-8 inches tall, so maybe
Okay.
even bigger than a NECA.
Okay. Well, oh, and that they announced they're doing like a part of their Super Cyborg line. Do you have any do you have any of the Transformers from that Super Cyborg line?
No, but I've seen them where
Because
you can
they're
take them
doing a
apart.
Mecha Godzilla from that
Yeah,
line. And I know they said, and they were, I think, well, it's called the Super Cyborg, and they said it was going to be in scale, kind of, I think, like 11 to 12 inches. So they're going to have like a big Mecha Godzilla too, which will be fun.
yeah. I was gonna say my wife would probably want to grab that one.
Yeah. So hopefully, Super 7 keeps pumping out stuff and getting us lots of new characters and becomes like a big player in the Godzilla collecting world. That'd be fun.
It'd be nice to have another like decently articulated like option other than
Right.
just
Yeah.
monster arts.
Yeah.
Especially since they want to bump up the scale too, which would be cool. Like even with because I'm excited because they're doing Power Ranger stuff, and they're doing the Zords, so it'd even be cool to have like a Godzilla to go along with them.
Yeah. That would be really fun. Oh, yeah. Get some more stuff. I'd support it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you ever
Um,
pre-order that giant Mondo
the
or not Mondo? Is it Mezco? They're doing
Oh, like the one with the light up spines and everything.
yeah,
Yeah, that was the Mezco. I didn't. I've been on the fence about it for a while, but I think that one was like $450, wasn't it?
yeah. It was kind of dumb. I got
Yeah.
it,
Did you pre-order it?
but yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks really good. I wanted to pre-order it, but I couldn't justify spending that kind of money on. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing that helped me is like when you compare it to a lot of the cost of the Gigantics, it's not that bad. For like
Yeah,
X
yeah. I guess
pluses.
if you're comparing it to like an X Plus, it's not too shabby of a price. But if you're used to your Bandai's and stuff,
Yeah,
then
then it gets a little rough. Because I'm like, he's a little bigger than my 62, and like the going price for like Gigantics now is like 500 ish.
wow,
So
that's expensive. I wish they were a little less expensive, but
because I think when I got my 62, I think he was still it was when they were cheaper. He was like 3 something.
oh really?
Yeah, it was like
Okay, but yeah, that was definitely a cool figure I wanted to pick up, but I haven't yet. I probably will pass on that one. I don't know. It's just a little too expensive.
Yeah, it's pretty much like I usually get like one big figure for the year, and that's pretty much what I'm going with.
Okay, well, hopefully it's good. You'll have to let me know how you like it and if it was
Oh, he'll
worth
get
it.
a video for sure.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep my eyes peeled on the channel. Here, last little thing I like to ask about is what's your favorite Godzilla movie and favorite suit? They don't necessarily have to line up, but what's your favorite movie and then suit?
Well, the fun thing is mine lineup is my favorite 62, and then my favorite suit 62.
Okay,
So
yeah,
King
that's a
Kong
good.
versus Godzilla.
Yeah, okay. The Godzilla suit in that one is definitely pretty fun and and unique. He's kind of I don't know the best way
Yeah, it
to.
was like it's probably like the one, at least for the longest time, it was the only one that was like really reptilian looking.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. Yeah, he definitely looks. I think there he is. Yeah, he's definitely like a fun. I like him a lot.
Yeah, where he's even got like that more Muppet style face to him.
Yeah, he definitely does. And then they definitely leaned into like the green kind of for that one. He's definitely like more greenish than
Mhm.
kind of like the darker. I guess he's still kind of green, but like a lighter. Yeah, that's definitely a fun suit. And it was cool little story. I actually had the opportunity to see the old King Kong versus Godzilla in theaters. Like a small local theater around me did. They got that movie and played it at the same time as Godzilla versus Kong, the new one.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
So yeah, I was able to see that. It was just cool being able to see the old Japanese movie on the big screen.
Yeah, sadly I haven't got it. I think the only three I've seen in movies outside of legendaries, I've seen 98, of course. I saw Godzilla 2000 when it came out,
Oh, that's fun.
and then Shin Godzilla. Because
Yeah.
that was a fun one because I had to drive about an hour. It was like the closest theater that was playing it.
Really? Dang. I got lucky. My kind of my big Cinemark was playing it, so I only, I was only like 10 minutes away, so I got pretty
Yeah, there was
lucky
like
with
an
not
A.
having to.
Yeah, it was like an AMC that had like two showings.
Wow. Yeah, they definitely didn't. I think they only had two or three showings when they played it, but it was my close one got it, which was nice. But yeah, other than Shin Godzilla, I hadn't seen any Japanese or any non. Actually, I kind of saw the 98 in theaters. They did. I can't even remember what it's called. Is it Riff Tracks? Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, where it's
They just like
sort of
roast
like
the
Mystery
movie.
Science Theater. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I went and saw that when they had the 98 Godzilla. So I kind of saw that movie in theaters, but it was like the Riff Tracks version of it.
Oh man, I remember I went and saw that movie in theaters, and I loved it when I was a kid. I still like the movie now.
Yeah.
And I went my first G Fest was also that year.
Oh yeah.
So went to the convention and was like trying to talk to other people. I'm like, oh, this is great. And it was like when I went to the convention, it was just like blasphemy. Like, how dare you like this movie?
Everyone hates it. That's funny. And that was actually the first movie, the first Godzilla movie I ever saw was the 98. So
Yeah, it's like most people that I know that kind of got into it, but like it was 98 was
yeah,
like
it's
the
definitely
catalyst.
I don't totally love it as a Godzilla movie and I don't love the character as Godzilla, but it's definitely like a fun movie and I have to give it some credit because it's what got me drawn into the whole world. Without that movie, I might have not ever discovered Godzilla as much and kind of developed a passion for it, when I was younger. So I have to give
Yeah,
it
it's
credit
just
where
got
it's
that.
due.
It's got that fun like '90s like cheesy nostalgic factor that I always really like
Yeah,
because it's
oh, for
just
sure. Does not lack any of the cheesiness, that's for sure.
absolutely none. Just like
Yeah.
Independence Day.
Right, yeah. So I guess we'll end on your most the pre-order you have coming up that you're most excited for.
Oh, that's a tough one. 'Cause I actually have a lot of pre-orders. I think the last time I looked at my big bad, I got like 60 something pre-orders on there.
Wow. Not bad. Or a
Uh,
couple. If there's a couple you're really, really, really excited for. You don't have to narrow
the
it down
ones
to
I can think
one
off the top of my head,
necessarily.
oddly enough, it's coming out soon, but there's Demono from Gargoyles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the NECA figure. probably the Mezco stuff, like the Mezco Destroy All Monsters. I'm actually really excited about. Probably the Super 7 Dragon Sword.
Okay, very nice. It's a good list.
Yeah, or even the if actually I'd probably say the Tyrannosaurus because that'll come out sooner. So I'm probably more excited about that one. Just
Okay.
because I want to see how good they are, pretty much compared next to like the Godzilla stuff, because they're supposed to be like you're actually able to pose them next to everything.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be cool to see how they line up.
That'll be cool to check out for sure. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a lot of fun stuff coming up. What is that one?
Oh, this is a pumpkin wrapper from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Even just to see how like well it lines up with these guys, so you actually be able to do like the giant monster fights.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because currently there's like 0 options available.
Yeah.
I'd say figure that hasn't gone up for pre-order that I'm excited about is there's actually an animated version of this character.
Yeah.
It'll be at the same scale.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that guy's definitely he's a cool looking figure. They probably make it. Who's making that one?
Max Factory.
Okay.
They do the Figma figures too.
Okay, gotcha. I don't think I know too much about those guys, so I'll have to look into them.
Yeah, as I say, that one's based off a movie called The Guyver, where it has Mark Hamill's in it. He plays a detective.
Oh, that's fun.
It's like the only other movie I know I've ever seen with Mark Hamill in it.
Right.
Outside of hearing his voice anyway.
Yeah. I can't really think of a movie aside from Star Wars that I've seen him physically in.
Yeah, but it's an interesting movie. It tries to take itself seriously, but it's like a super like cheesy 80s sci-fi movie, but it has like some of the coolest suits in it.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I've never seen that one. So
yeah, so like the alien monsters are all practical effects. He's one giant suit, and like everything works. It's cool. It's like one of those. It should be like super low budget, but when you're seeing everything working, it's a really gorgeous movie.
Yeah, that sounds pretty fun. I'd definitely be excited to look that up. Yeah. All righty, well, I really appreciate you coming on the show. Hopefully everyone knows about your channel already, but if they don't, I'll definitely be sure to link you down below. Definitely worth checking out the Geek Chest. He does a lot of fun stuff over there.
Yep, do a lot of giant boxings. We do our customs. Do some funny skits once in a while.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to. And it was really good chatting with you. We'll have to make it happen again.
Oh yeah, no, this is great. I always enjoy these little fun times.
Yeah,
definitely. Don't get to talk about the Godzilla stuff too much, as well as everybody else.
Yeah, no, I try
in my own, own little bubble.
Exactly. I try and bring it with my family, and they'll listen for a second and kind of be like, shake me off. And my girlfriend wants to hear none of it, so it's definitely good to come up here and chat Godzilla with some fellow enthusiasts. So
yeah, I remember my mom used to have the Godzilla jar, where if I talked about Godzilla, I had to put money in it.
Oh no!
Instead of a swear jar,
that's horrible. And it's just a revolving circle. You want to buy a Godzilla figure, but you talk about Godzilla, and your money goes to the jar instead of the figure.
Yep, pretty much.
I'm glad my parents didn't think of that when I was in the house, because I'd always be like, and I when I was a kid, I didn't have like an eBay account or a credit card or anything, obviously. So I'd have to save up my money and then go, can I give you this money and you'll buy a toy for me online or whatever? And they would always get annoyed when I'd come and be keep asking, can we get this one? How about this one? How about this one?
So that's how I got my Evangelion figures originally.
Yeah,
through my mom's eBay account. It's just like, do you really need this? I'm like, but I have the monies.
I have the money, so obviously yes. Alrighty, sir. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Hope to do it again soon. Really appreciate you.
Take care.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.